برادرات كاري طالبان عقب ملكتان وأز نجاه ما بملت خود 100% اطمینان و یقین داریم که همیشه قربانی دادن در آینده هم به چنین قربانی به سر و مال تیار میشیم. شما انشالله تیار هستین که
From Peshawar, Pakistan, on the Afghan border, we want to get to Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan and the capital of all that is prohibited. A number of Quranic schools have sprung up here in Peshawar. They teach the hardline Islam of the new masters, who now control 75% of Afghanistan, the Taliban.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
On the outskirts of Peshawar, the mosque and Haqqaniya Quranic school. Were unauthorized, but since the mullah isn't here, most of the big Taliban warlords were trained in this mosque. They had enrollment this morning. I'd like to talk to one of these boys. In this school, in addition to the regular curricula, students receive a strict religious education. Learning the Quran by heart in 3 to 4 years of harsh discipline and austerity molds these students into servants of Allah and the jihad.
That's prayer.
First class.
Prayer. Eh?
Do you speak English?
No. You don't speak English?
He's a Talib. Oh, he's a Talib. He's a Talib.
Small Talib.
He belongs to Balochistan.
He came from Balochistan to study here.
My name is Rahmatullah.
His name is Rahmatullah. He's 9. Answer well. Watch what you say.
Speak up about the Taliban. You say they're for true Afghanistan and above all a true Islam.
Don't be afraid of television.
Why do you want to be a Taliban? If I become a Taliban, I'll be respected. Before leaving for Afghanistan, I have a meeting with Ramanullah Yousafzai at the Pakistani daily, The News. He knows the Taliban movement and leaders well.
I haven't been to Kabul recently, but I understand that the Taliban aren't happy with their media coverage, and they are taking steps to control it.
Especially now,
right now, they think the whole world is against them.
They think the media
They believe the media is against them, especially the Western media, which criticizes their action.
Yes, I'd like to
send message to Kabul. We can't enter Kabul yet, so we decide to go to North Afghanistan, which is still holding out against the Taliban. Only UN or Red Cross planes fly there.
Okay. Will it be possible to
Can we go first to Mazar?
To Mazar. By your plane,
in Red Cross plane 121? Off to the big northern town of Mazar. In 2 hours, we'll be in Afghanistan. The airport is our first contact with Central Asia and its post-Soviet bureaucracy.
Job, journalist. Fransawi.
Mazar lives under the threat of a Taliban takeover, though strong resistance has been put up by the local warlord, General Dostum. The Taliban are gaining ground. A reflection of traditional Muslim society, Mazar still displays the external signs of a modern westernized city. Indian music fills the air, sexy pictures, a thriving business, and alcohol is still sold on the black market. City life revolves around the shrine of Ali. Friday is the day of prayer.
They're just using the name of Islam to impose their law. Islam is like a veil, a cover for their made-up laws. But they'll end up unveiling themselves, and we'll eventually find out who they really are.
Can you ask him an Ahmed question?
No.
Games are still permitted in Mazar. Every Friday afternoon, crowds gather for the Buzkashi. In this land of coups d'etats, invasions, intrigues, pacts, betrayals, Buzkashi expresses a true culture of violence. Its only rule, don't let anyone else win.
This is a game that goes beyond war. When we put on our Buzkashi clothes and shoes, we can feel death around us. We may fall, be trampled on, death is in our hands. We wear protective charms on our waists, but falling from a horse means sure death. When needed, these horses are used on the front. They carry ammunition and weapons in bags that hang from each side of the horse.
While in the rest of Afghanistan, Quranic law has banned all sound and image, and TV sets are strung from trees, the Mazar station, though the voice of local power, has at least one virtue: it still broadcasts. Did you have friends at TV Kabul? What's happened to them?
Mr. Qaraichi works with us now. He used to work at TV Kabul. He's now our cameraman. We've been joined by other friends who used to work for the radio or TV in Kabul.
For you, Mazar is the last bastion. What if it falls?
Mazar will never fall to the Taliban. I'm a cameraman, but I'd put down my camera and take up arms against the Taliban.
We're phoning France by satellite. Without UN recognition, the Taliban have no diplomatic status. So the previous regime, headed by the notorious Commander Massoud, still occupies the Afghan embassy in Paris. We call them by satellite. Is this the Afghan embassy in Paris?
Hello? Hello, Marine. How are you? I'm fine. You've arrived safely.
We've a rather tight program before moving on to Kabul. So while we're here, we'd like to work with Commander Massoud as well. Does your helicopter offer still stand?
Yes, I can organize things for you quickly. Probably for tomorrow. Okay.
And we'll meet with Captain Massoud in person?
Yes.
Can you walk on that plane?
To get to the Panjshir Valley, Ahmad Shah Massoud, defeated last autumn by the Taliban, lets us use this dilapidated M18 relic of the Soviet Army. It usually transports troops and weapons. Oh Christ, if those are explosives, we're in for it. Are those rockets explosives? Guns, machine guns?
No, they're automatic weapons.
Oh, okay. A thrilling ride.
Ambiance.
First stop, Taloqan, Massoud's main base throughout the war. Projected stopover time, half an hour. We've been stuck here for 4 hours now, and if I hadn't gotten upset, it'd have gotten too late for us to take off. So since I got upset, they unloaded the ammunition from that helicopter to ours. And now they're refueling, so I hope... Massoud's right-hand man greets us at the makeshift airport. Harun Mir did his studies in France. Getting here was a complicated affair.
I hope you had a good trip in this helicopter. We did.
In the past, the Panjshir Valley was occupied several times by the Soviets. Yet they could never hold it. Violent battles left behind this cemetery of deserted tanks. Altogether, the Soviets and the Afghans lost almost 7,000 men. Today, the valley is firmly held by the Mujahideen. In the Daktak garrison, young soldiers play Palakmon, a slingshot game that wheels away the time. They are all volunteers waiting for new fronts to open up in a few weeks. This barracks holds 2,000 men. We spend the night talking with the elders who fought against the foreign invaders for 14 years, as well as with the younger men, themselves long experienced in war.
The difference between us and the Taliban is that we fought a holy war for 14 years, just as our ancestors did against the English. We fought so as not to be dominated by a foreign power. The Taliban appeared only years ago, and they're demanding the Sharia. We fought a holy war and lost up to 100,000 men. We fought off the Russians, and we'll fight off the Taliban.
He draws? Is she your fiancée? Are you going to veil her face?
No, here a total veil isn't necessary.
At 18, you've been fighting a war for 5 years now. Don't you wish you had a normal life like youth in the West?
I hope my country finds peace again, without any foreign interference. Maybe then I can have a normal life.
What's the difference between you and a young Taliban? You have the same religion.
The Taliban fight for the dollar and the Pakistani Kaldor. We fight for our cause and to go back to our homes, to drive them out of Kabul. and set up a new Mujahideen government.
Okay, thank you.
Merci.
Early morning. Back in the valley lies Borak prison. It holds 700 Taliban, captured during last battles in November. They seem well treated despite crowded, precarious conditions. The Red Cross makes periodic visits, we are told. For the camera, Harun Mir carefully separates Afghans from foreigners. He lines up against a wall, about 40 Pakistanis.
This proves that the Pakistanis formed and created the Taliban. They supported them, sent men. Last year in October and November we captured about 40 Pakistanis on the front carrying weapons. These Pakistanis were sent by the Pakistani Secret Service not only to fight the Afghan government, but also to use us as a stepping stone to Central Asia.
We continue deep into the Poranda Valley, towards Commander Massoud's headquarters. Rounding a bend, we can tell we've arrived. These few dwellings are the offices of the most famous man in Afghanistan. This anti-Soviet resistance hero is a legendary figure for us in the West. Now allied with his former enemies, such as General Dostum. We expect to find the warlord, worn out from 20 years of constant. Busier than ever, he is actively reorganizing his military. We met a year ago, do you remember? You don't speak French, but you understand.
Yes, he understands.
As we did last year, can I ask questions in French? And you answer?
When I was in Kabul, I said, and I repeat it again, I don't want to have to shoot at one more person. I'm willing to negotiate a solution to the conflict. But when our adversaries refuse to negotiate and speak only through their guns, we are forced to do the same.
Pakistan's influence is clear.
It's as clear as day. Everyone knows the Taliban were created by Pakistan, who supported and encouraged them. As for the US, the Taliban say they're being helped by them and by Saudi Arabia. They're the first to admit it. As for my forces, you may not know this, but a few days ago in the Panjshir, I sent a bulletin out to my men saying I needed volunteers to supplement my regular soldiers. I didn't mention wages, only that I wanted men ready to sacrifice themselves to the end. And so many young men have volunteered that we hardly know what to do with them. Fighting all the time is exhausting. I didn't even want to fight before, but we were invaded by foreign troops. So we had to fight to defend our country. It's the same today.
You obviously understand everything.
60%.
60%? So why not reply in French? It'd be so much simpler.
I haven't spoken French for many years. It's hard for me.
Commander, can I ask you a final question? You've been at war for 20 years. Isn't that long enough? Answer me in French. I know you can.
Tell me in French. It's not easy for me.
If it has to do with defending our country, I'll fight to the last.
Merci.
Merci. Salam. Salam. Merci.
Okay, merci. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
I've just learned something very interesting. The latest AFP wire received half an hour ago. In Paris, states that taking pictures or filming is prohibited in Kabul. This is the new Taliban law. It's on the front page of Liberation.
That was announced here. It's now forbidden to take pictures of any living animal. Even animals, that's what they said.
Great news, fantastic. How are we going to take the cameras into Kabul? Before, as long as we got into Kabul, we could get things in camera, but now...
It smells like gas in here.
We must act fast and decide to go to Kabul immediately, before strict enforcement of the law makes it impossible to film. We arrive with uncertainty the city of prohibitions. Before disembarking, a transformation is required. Our immediate concern is filming. Undercover, in secret, or authorized. Red Cross spokesman Jean-Luc Palladini leaves us little hope.
A
TV crew from MPC was here a few days ago.
You could still film a few days ago?
No, they weren't allowed to film, not even in the Kartis hospital. It was totally prohibited. This new law was passed 2 days ago. The state radio, Radio Sharia, announced it, and it's very, very clear.
No filming at all, not in the orthopedic center, nor at the zoo, nor any shots of children.
At the moment, no. It's against Islamic law.
To our surprise, in the ruined airport, we see no Taliban at all. No one checking security. From now on, the camera would try to record everything it could, and to begin with, everything authorized. The buildings or what's left of them. 4 years of uninterrupted warfare between warlords of the post-communist era have reduced the capital to a heap of ruins. 70% of Kabul has been destroyed. A mandatory visit of the Minister of Information with his new list of regulations. We are given an assigned hotel, assigned car driver and interpreter. We're under surveillance, so the camera goes undercover.
Good morning. Mr. Khalid.
Mr. Khalid
Okay. Hello.
will be your interpreter. He's very experienced and often works with journalists.
In Kabul, journalists may no longer work freely. But the authorities give us a local press card. This means getting our pictures taken, even though pictures of living beings are officially banned. Absurdly enough, the photographer we go to supposedly has no right to do his job.
Are you afraid to speak?
Are you
with
afraid
us?
to talk to us? Is it dangerous?
Dangerous? You speak.
It's dangerous. I can't.
And our interpreter? Khalid is 22 and says he's a student. One thing is certain, he's as uneasy as we are.
Take picture.
Yes.
It's forbidden.
I've let you film, though it's prohibited. If the Taliban arrest me, please call this number.
What's the number? Do you have to report everything we do, whom we talk to?
No.
They don't require you to do that?
But a few nights ago...
No. 2 days ago, the Iranian radio announced that the foreign ministry had appointed spies as interpreters. But I'm telling you it's not true. Believe me, I'm not Taleb. My father's not Taleb. He's a doctor. We have a pharmacy in Kabul.
I
I insist you must believe me.
I believe you, but
I believe you, but please, when we go into the houses of foreigners, not Afghans, but French or English people, don't come with us. They don't like it when you're there. They can't talk freely. I'm sorry. As you wish. The AFP in Kabul. Terence White is a well-known figure here. An AFP correspondent in Kabul for 5 years. He was wounded by a rocket. He's now back after long convalescence.
A rocket hit the house. In fact, it fell on the house.
In fact, this is the rocket here which hit.
These are the remains of the rockets that hit my house.
Are those from bullets?
This is all shrapnel. The wall is full of it.
Stuck in the wall. Perhaps the decoration.
My decoration isn't the same other people's.
And because others have.
My window panes have been replaced by plastic. They were blown out twice, gave up repairing them.
Why did you come back? Do you like it here so much?
I'm a war junkie.
A war junkie!
So I've been described, and it's true, I'm fascinated by war.
Why are you fascinated by war?
Why do you love a particular brand of wine?
Brand of wine.
What is your advice?
What's your advice? How can we make our work easier in Kabul?
Easily.
This is Afghanistan.
This is Afghanistan.
So, the point is, you don't throw back in the face of the Taliban.
So don't throw it in the face of the Taliban that you're violating their rules.
And regulations. Officially, you're allowed to film ruins. So
officially, you can only film the ruins. That's why you're here. If someone passes by while you're shooting, you can film them. And that's when you start asking questions. It'd be entirely natural.
Is it dangerous?
Yes, it is.
Of course. Journalists have been hit. I too have been hit by the Taliban. It happens.
This happens from time to time.
So we should be careful.
Yes, careful and discreet. The Taliban in the street are no problem. But around the mullahs...
Around mullahs?
Yeah.
The first mullah we meet is Abbas Tanekzai, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, in a country which counts few remaining diplomats. With an eye to UN recognition, his job is to show moderate face.
Okay.
I'd like to know if you'd let us film you, because I heard on Radio Sharia it was illegal. Go ahead. There's a contradiction between what you said on Radio Sharia and accepting to be interviewed for television.
No problem.
It's not a problem.
We're in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We want to express our views to the world. You're authorized to film here, but not in any other ministry.
Ministries, it's not allowed.
Just in your ministry? Yes.
Okay, but you know...
How do you expect us to work if we can't film the streets or the people if we can't talk to them?
No, the
buildings, the streets, facilities, ruins.
This equipment...
You can film all of those things.
The distraction you can film.
Only human beings can't be filmed.
But if we film the...
And if we film the people?
You'll probably have problems as it's prohibited.
Okay,
my first question is, why is your Islamic State the most fundamentalist of all?
In the name of God, the most merciful, all merciful. Praise God, Lord of the world.
As for the situation which we study this year,
given the current situation in Afghanistan,
we hope
that our present problems will soon be resolved.
Soon solved.
Suppose the news is circulated in the West that the Taliban have shut down schools. Any Western man would think there used to be schools and teachers until the hard Taliban toned up the laws. But in this case, it's not like that. There are no schools and all the teachers have left.
There is no teacher. All the teachers.
There are no educational materials, no financial sources.
But most of the teachers are women. 60% are women and they're forbidden to teach. How can you set up an educational program without women?
According to Islamic principles.
According to Islamic principles, men and women must be separated.
I mean to say that...
I mean that both men and women should receive an education, but in separate places. One place for men and another for women. In the future, if men and women both work in society, there must be separate organizations, separate departments and workplaces for them. That's the Islamic principle.
On our second day in Kabul, we decide to use the contradictions and confusion of the situation to film the city and its inhabitants. Kabul is safe once more, but instead of peace, a new war is being waged, a moral war, under the white flag of the Taliban. Punishment is a way of life. The ruthless enforcement of punitive measures is as extreme as the weariness of the people. The only women visible in the street are beggars, often war widows, hiding their despair.
Under their veils,
the temperature here can fall to -20 Celsius. A Frenchman, Frederic Roussel, decided to put the old coal fields to use, acted his organization, thus heats the Afghan capital.
We'll go as soon as the interview's finished.
It looks very busy. Are you giving out a lot of coal right now?
Yes, winter's end transitional period. Today we received about 1,000 tons of coal to be distributed in the next 2 weeks. This is a critical time of year.
Here in the eastern suburbs, ration cards may be exchanged for a few kilos of coal.
We chose the city's southern areas, where most of the fighting took place, destroying everything. They had no electricity or utilities. The poorest people in the region live there. In each zone, we single out 30% of the population: widows, orphans, the relocated, the poor.
In terms of safety, how are things now?
During the war, people were armed. Armed groups could take whatever they wanted. It was an uneasy situation.
So the city is safer now. Order reigns. Work conditions are easier?
Order reigns.
Okay, please stop.
The time is finished. I'm sorry, time's up.
Why must we stop?
Because someone's arrived, and it's forbidden to film. Should we go? Get the camera in. Our boss has arrived at Taleb. You never know. They're calm, then suddenly they're upset. And that's it.
In this city where everything is lacking, where a civil servant earns $4 a month, the basic thing is to survive. Humanitarian aid, like this UN-funded program, is not enough to feed the many people who subsist solely on bread and sugarless tea.
our life is good now, no more fighting. For over 20 years there was constant fighting here. There were crimes
and no respect.
They'd shoot from mountain to mountain. People died every day.
Now there's peace. No more fighting. It's all over and we're very happy.
Out of the way, kids! And don't let anyone else come in.
Everyone here has a story connected with the war. The 3 families in this building fled from the fighting in the Chamali Plain last October. These are the first women we've met. With their husbands, they allow us to film them openly.
What can we do against the Taliban? They hit us and we can't say anything. They beat us, but we're helpless. We have no guns. Oh, we're poor. Moreover, we're being sheltered. We have nothing left. They've stolen our houses. They burned our houses. Everything went up in smoke.
Things were fine before, then the Taliban locked women in. Before we could work outside well as at home. Soon we won't even have the right to live.
I used to be an officer in the Afghan army. I'm not for anyone's side. Not for the communists, nor for Rabbani's government, nor for Massoud, nor for Hekmatyar, nor for the Taliban. I'm not for anyone, just for my God. And I'm faithful. I never lie. I always tell the truth. There were thousands, tens of thousands, 20,000, 100,000 people, all killed because of all this fighting.
Watch what you say. The Taliban might hear.
Don't worry, let them hear. These wars and power struggles were imposed on us, and many people suffered. Now they lie buried, leaving thousands of children as orphans. They've taken our women, hammered nails into their heads. I've lost my 3 sons. I'm weary. At the time, however, I didn't shed a tear, because they were mujahideen fighting the Russians. They were martyrs. It was an honor for me. But now I cry for all these children, out in the streets without any parents, orphans left to themselves, and it grieves me.
In Kabul, countless numbers of children have been left homeless by the war. I visited this orphanage a year ago. Though just as poor, it was cared for by 100 women who cleaned and kept order. Today, Taimashkan is kept up by a few old men and has fallen into total disarray. Some children have even disappeared. A few rare but courageous women come to plenty neglected facilities.
At their risk.
Meeting the new director, a young mullah whose job is to bring up these children, is a shock. He seems the most intolerant of all.
A woman's modesty and honor cannot be protected outside the house. Our Prophet says your modesty can be shielded in 2 places only, in her husband's house and in her tomb. Everywhere else, Muslim women cannot be allowed to appear or move about freely.
After taking Kabul last September, the Taliban advanced from defeat to victory towards the north, which they aim to conquer. On the road to the front line where Massoud's troops lie, at the entrance to the Panjshir, one of these soldiers of God commandeers our van to get back to the fight. Could he put his weapon over there? It bothers me. Why don't you want to be filmed?
Islam forbids the filming of human beings. We can't take pictures either. If we do, we'll go to hell and not to heaven. On Resurrection Day, I'll be asked why. I took a picture of a divine creature. To reproduce a human being is to act like God. It's blasphemy. All over the world, Muslims are tortured. That is why they fight. The Taliban want to establish Afghanistan as an Islamic state. Make it an Islamic center. Then they'll take care of the rest of the world.
What if I don't want to accept your rules? What would you do to me?
She'll be punished.
In the middle of nowhere, the combatants watch for signs of war from the hills.
Hello, it's raining.
We hear explosions. Where's the front line?
See that hill over there? That's it.
Here you're on the front line.
Where are Masoud's men?
Our enemies are right over there.
Around the bend.
This is a T-55.
What happened? That's a T-62 over there. There was fighting and Masoud's men fled, leaving everything behind. One was killed here, there, 6 over there.
These young Taliban soldiers are typical of the rank and file. Peasants, often illiterate, enrolled as cannon fodder in the Quran's brigades. Far from being wary of our camera, they seem a little too eager. The Pancheri owners of this house probably left with the retreating Masoud. It is now a shelter for these boys who are only following orders.
Give you those arms.
Our commanders give us these weapons. Or else we take them from Masoud's men when they're killed.
If our commanders move on, we follow them. We fight when they order us to. In the cold, the snow, nothing stops us.
No, thank you.
Tajikistan, Chechnya, Russia. We'll take care of them once Afghanistan is freed.
Be quiet, don't say that. The foreigners will cut off our aid.
On our way back, a blizzard suddenly overtakes us. Kabul is far and we have an appointment. He's a 20-year-old student who wants to talk, in secret, about this war on pleasure and its list of prohibitions. For women, no working or studying. For men, no going out without a beard and turban. Games and sports, no kites for children. No gatherings of over 5 people except for the Taliban. No music, radio, cinema, or television. No singing even from the birds.
Islam is a very shining religion.
Islam is a shining religion.
They also take... They didn't act...
The Taliban don't follow the Quran's rules.
They only act...
They only follow its punitive rules.
It's also...
They've cast a black melancholy on the city. They've made the Quran dark. They've punished a number of women.
Punished by the Taliban.
What kind of punishment?
Like flog.
They were flogged.
Yeah. Exactly, the Kabul people.
The people in Kabul have to stay here.
To stay here. They
have nowhere to go.
To do.
They can't do anything.
As you know, the situation is...
As you know, they've disarmed us.
Armed situation. No one can do...
Without arms, we can't do anything.
Without any arm, yeah?
Radio Sharia has announced that journalists cannot take their cameras out of Afghanistan, to France, America, anywhere else.
So I can't leave with my camera? They'll take it away? Yes.
And my film? Don't worry, I'll help you.
Is this announcement meant for us?
No, for all journalists.
But we're the only TV crew in Kabul. So it's aimed at us. Feeling the pressure, we decide to use other methods. Where's the camera eye? In the buttonhole.
Inside the buttonhole.
How good is the image compared to a regular camera?
Not as good.
The Sharia is the canonical Islamic law. In Kabul, it has its own radio. Radio Sharia, the voice of prohibition. Even entry is prohibited here. A man approaches us.
If you live in Kabul, you'll dig your own grave.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, if you live in Kabul, you'll kill yourself.
Are you a Taliban? No, I'm not. Do you work here? Yes.
I work here.
I'm a newscaster. I read out the Taliban news. But I don't like this situation. Believe me.
I like television, films, music.
American, French, and Indian films.
All prohibited.
Everything's prohibited. We're not going in if they search, okay?
Behind the fence are the studios which formerly housed Radio TV Kabul. Every morning, Radio Sharia defines the new regulations. No programming, just a mullah spreading the word of zealotry. Can we film you?
We've suspended all TV programs because of the problems in our country. This isn't the time to listen to music or seek entertainment. We have to broadcast radio programs that teach people something. It's for their own good. They're still fighting in Afghanistan. People are being killed. This is no time for songs or music. And I judge your questions on this subject to be out of place.
On these airwaves, there are no calls for terrorist action, anti-Western diatribes. All that inspires these mullahs is their version of Islam. This man, like the entire population, suffers from this conception of Islam. He and his wife are teachers. They now live in this run-down neighborhood. Bitter and resigned, they speak for all of Kabul.
The Taliban aren't concerned with human rights in what they're doing. Even worse. It's now a totalitarian government. You have to do what the Taliban say. That's how it works. It's very hard because you can't find bread. For example, we just have my salary now. And it's not much money. All we can buy is bread, nothing else.
We're worse off than women in the Middle Ages. We have to stay at home, wear the chadri. We aren't even free to go where we want. When we risk going out to shop, we can't even talk to the vendors. When we're buying something, we can't lift the veil to look at it. We've no rights, we're back in the Dark Ages.
This return to the past is presided over by a very unique ministry, which exists nowhere else in the world, the Ministry of Vice and Virtues. Philippe, are you up there? Our special meeting in the minister's house calls for 2 cameras, an official one and a hidden one. We put down the camera, but keep it running.
Sit over there.
Where?
There.
Over there, but I'm the journalist.
She's the journalist?
Never mind.
Yes, but
I'll be asking you the questions. You don't want to talk to a woman.
Sit there.
Can we film you?
Move the camera away.
Can we film you?
No.
No? No film.
Turn it towards the wall. Bring me the camera. I want to see if it's running.
Do you like reigning by terror over the people?
Let me give an example. When a doctor gives a child a shot, he does it for its health, for its own good. But the child doesn't know the shot is good. What's it afraid of? Of the needle that's pushed under the skin. That's why it hates the doctor and starts crying. If the child knew it was good, it wouldn't cry. Well, it's exactly the same for our people. In the beginning it hurts, but one gets used to it. Our people will get used to Islam.
Why haven't you looked at me since the interview began?
In fact, I didn't want this interview with you. But I accepted because rumors around the world say we're against women's rights. And it's not true. A principle of our Sharia forbids us to look at a woman's face. That's why I don't look at you. It's against our religion. May God be with you wherever you go.
Okay. No? You don't want to...
You don't want to shake my hand?
Huh?
Why not?
I have nothing against you. I'm not your enemy. It's because our religion's basic principles do not allow it.
The presence of journalists in Kabul seems more undesirable with each passing day. Anything could happen. We leave the country by car in order to avoid the airport searches, which are much riskier than a week ago. After driving for 8 hours, we reached the Pakistani border. See what they do with videos? Hang them from trees. Here, we sneak one last picture of the land of prohibition.